Hey everybody, Derek Gilbert here with Keller Williams Realty. Just wanted to give you a quick update on our market here before the end of the year. I'm going to circle back after the new year and kind of do a recap here of 2017. But there's a lot going on in the market right now that I think people need to get some insight as far as some of the changes that are going on and what we're seeing out there in the marketplace. So wanted to jump into some stats real quick, talk about some opportunities that we're seeing in the market and why we feel right now, especially as we come into November and December, are a great time for a buyer. It's a great time for move-up sellers. There's some good margins there to be spoken about. So let's kind of dive right into it. What I want to jump into here first is just taking a look at what our inventory levels are doing. If you take a look at month over month, year over year, October of 2016, October of 2017, we've seen about a 25% decrease in the available number of homes for sale. So if you look at that from a monthly inventory standpoint, that puts us at about 1.7 months of inventory, which is still technically considered an extreme seller's market. Now here's the rub. My buyer's agent would tell you that based off of certain price points, there's definitely some major differences. So once again, if we take a look at this breakdown of our monthly market report, you're going to see that over 55% of all the properties that are being sold right now are between $250,000 to $500,000. So if you're a home buyer in that price range, that's where you're going to see the most amount of competition. Now that's not saying that we're not seeing it above. We're definitely seeing it below. But more than half of the market is between $250,000 to $500,000. Here's where the fall is interesting. We only have a 1.7 month supply of inventory. We only have 9,900 homes for sale in the entire market. But what's interesting is that you'll see certain areas and certain price ranges where properties just sit. So perfect example is we just had a home in Aurora. It's priced at $485,000, sat there for 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden we have multiple offers 3 weeks into it. So you're going to see these kind of micro shifts in the market that go week by week. September and October were interesting months. Normally we always see a little bit of a slowdown in September. Kids get back in school, people kind of get back into their fall habits, but this year it actually was almost 2 months long. It was all of September, all of October. We saw a really big slowdown, not only on the buy side, but also on the listings. And then all of a sudden, boom, here we are in November, market starts taking off again like crazy. My buyer's agent's out there seeing multiple offers in all price ranges in the market. So how do you really time the market? What is the best, season for opportunity? And I still feel like that's right now. So how do we look at that? Well, let's take a look at median home price. I think that's probably the best indicator as far as how do you time the market, right? So here we are, June of 2017. Median home price across the board between condos, home sales, townhomes, etc. was $385,000. Well, this month it's at $367,000. So that's about a 4 to 5% decrease in median home value in about 4 to 5 months, which is typical. We always see, depending on where you're at in the market, anywhere from on the low end 3%, usually on the high end about 5%. So if you're a buyer right now and you're trying to get into the market, maybe you're a first-time home buyer, maybe you're new to the Denver market, right now there's a discount of about 4 to 5% across the board on most properties due to the seasonality of our market. So if you're a move-up buyer, this is where the opportunity really exists. Let's say you're selling a home that typically would be a $400,000 property. If you take 4% of that, that's $16,000 that typically that property is going to need to pull back in the fall and winter season in order for it to sell. Well, that same thing applies if you're moving up to a $500,000 property, because 4% of $500,000 is $20,000. So your net difference there is a gain of $4,000. So essentially you're coming out ahead $4,000 even though you're having to pull back on your sales price, because that same price is being offset on the property that you're going to purchase. So So that's the advantage for home sellers that are doing move up. That's the advantage for buyers that are jumping into the market. The other part of it is that we've seen rates actually pull back a little bit. Rates last year on the very low end were about 3.5%. They jumped up to about 4.5%, and now they're hovering again around the low fours. So buyers that are really trying to time the market, this is your time. I would say any time from November through probably February. Last year, our market went crazy starting in February. I don't see any reason why we're not going to see that next year, especially with these inventory levels, because like I said, we're seeing about 25% less homes for sale this time in October, November of this year than we did last year. So that inventory issue is going to show up again in the spring. There just aren't enough homes for sale. And even though we see a slowdown with not enough homes for sale, basically what that means is we're going to have an over demand again in the spring. I feel like the market is probably going to go crazy, but it's going to be limited because the median home value is starting to bump up against affordability, which we'll get more into that in January. But right now is a phenomenal time to buy. It's a great time to sell. It's a great time to do move up. The only issue that some people are going to face is going to be inventory. So it might take a little longer to find that next home, but that's where a great team like us can come into play. So if you want a great agent, a great team that really understands the market, that really digs into the numbers to show where there's opportunity for our clients, and to really kind of help you analyze when to make that move, give me a call. I'd love to help. My number direct, 720-480-9877. You can check us out at thegilbertgroupco.com. I've got a full team here. We've got 6 people on our team that are ready to help you today, and can't wait to help you with all your real estate needs. Thanks again.